Welcome
to Leadcast. Let's go.
Intriguing.
Without delay.
Hello and welcome to episode 346 of the Leadcast podcast. I'm your host, Nick Dinky Cooper. Joining me, Aiden Frost Rockarts.
I'm here. Hello.
Oh, way too excited for this podcast. And Colton Blue Basket Sweat.
I'm here.
Oh, the tension is palpable. Hey, this week we're going to talk about a lot of stuff because Worlds is happening.
Ooh, Worlds.
Patch 8.19, which is the Worlds patch. The Ezreal WeWork. Rise.
Why?
The event pass. We're going to do something a little different for Metakaiser this week, so you have to stay tuned. We got some fucking liars for Roundtable. I'll say that straight up. For Roundtable, woo. What's this? A spicy cheese pick. LCS news, I guess, with World starting, and try emails. But Aiden, how was your week?
My week was good, man. I haven't done that much, actually. I've just been super busy with school, so I played almost no League. I played some today and lost a bunch of games. So, it doesn't matter. Life's rough, man.
Solo queue or flex?
Flex. I didn't play solo. I played a solo queue a couple days. Oh, I played I think it was, not last week. Yeah, I played a game where I thought it was flex, and then... You remember in LCS when Licorice counterpicked top Aatrox with Hecarim?
Mm-hmm.
So they picked Aatrox, and I picked Hecarim, and then I'm like, oh fuck, this is a solo queue game. And I don't know how to play Hecarim, nor Hecarim top, and I also don't know how to play top lane versus a fucking D3 top lane main. So, level 1, I walked into a bush, took 80% of my health, and I'm like, you know what, I'm probably going to lose this lane pretty hard, so I'm going to hold my TP. So I walk back to lane, Aatrox is level 3, solo kills me. So I TP back, he's level 4, he solo kills me. I walk back, he's level 5, and that's how lane started. So it was not great. And then we lost because I went 4-10 on that character. I literally was like the teammates that Cold describes. And my team, my jungler was a good player. I mean, he kind of played like a dumbass. He was like you could tell he's good though. He's like mechanically good. But yeah, I threw that game a little bit too hard, I think.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and then I've just been the rest of my games have been going pretty poorly as well. So I've won out of my last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. I've won one. I guess 2 of those are ARMs though. So out of my last 8 games, I've won 1.
Oof.
Big oof, dude. But I guess the only game that I want to talk about is that I played an ARAM where I played Karthus. Mm-hmm. And I tried this strategy where I just ran at them over and over. So I died 16 times. But how long was
the game?
16 minutes.
I think that's a very important metric to toss in there.
By the 3-minute mark, I died 5 times. And everyone on the enemy team was flaming me, thought I was retarded. Even my team was questioning my strategy.
You're boosted. How are you D2?
I had the most damage by double almost, and I think I carried. So I would recommend that if you're ever playing Karthus on ARAM, just run in over and over. You do a lot of damage.
If you're ever just playing Karthus, period.
No, you can lose games by doing that in real games. When they're all trapped in one lane, though, and they have to walk through your pool, then
that's true.
It's good. Yeah, that was my week.
Cool. Colton, how was your week?
Pretty good, I guess. Played basically League and PUBG, and that's it. I think I'm basically net 0 for League. I'm sitting at D4, 10 points, I think, right now. I was 1 game out of series to D3, and then just some really unfortunate games, but I feel like I am getting better at top lane, and really...
You're a top lane main now?
Yeah, I've been playing pretty much exclusively top, and I don't really lose lane, or at the very least it's 1 in 5, 1 in 6 games that I actually lose lane. So I mean, I've been feeling good with that. I've been trying to diversify a little bit, not just play Urgot. So I've been playing some Gragas top, some Jax, some Shen, Scion, Malphite, all sorts of fun tanks. Haven't really been playing any like carry damage champions, so maybe I'll try and pick up one of those, but I don't know. I feel like if you're not going to play a tank, you're probably playing top lane wrong.
At this point, probably.
With
They're
like the exception
too good
of
in
like
team
if you're
fights.
super good at like Riven or Fiora or something.
Aurelia.
Aiden's last game you went positive was 7 games ago. Yikes. So if you want, I can go through how like I solo killed.
Aiden, I was gonna message you that. I was gonna message you that.
So the thing about when you win lane and lose games, you don't normally end with a good score. So this last game, let's say Urgot, I'm 7, 8, and 5.
No, the game before.
The game before. Okay, that game, I got camped by Nocturne and I split pushed all game. I don't give a fuck. I won the game. I killed the Nexus. Aatrox, but that was a game I did lose lane, genuinely. Let's see, the last Urgot game, I solo killed their Aatrox 3 times in lane. We still lost.
Colton, the last game I played with you, you played Urgot and you lost lane.
Okay.
Was that just the 1 in 6 though? This is an intervention. Little did you know.
No flame.
Sure.
No flame.
No, it is flame, but I mean, again, I don't think like final KDA is a really good indicator of how you played in lane.
That's what all my teammates tell me when I don't go positive. They say, you fucking fed and you lost to the game, you loser.
I mean, but yeah, I feel like if you like, maybe it's more like 1 in 4 or 1 in 3, but still, like if I'm winning lane 2 out of 3 games, that's still like good.
Yeah, you should be climbing still pretty quick.
But I mean, I think if you watch almost all of those defeats, you'd see me like with a CS advantage or a solo kill in like the first 10 minutes and then shit happening around it. Not to say that I'm like a perfect laner and don't make mistakes, but
I think that's exactly what you're saying.
I've been laning a lot better recently, and I think I'm getting better as a top laner. That was the point I was trying to make, is that I think my top lane play is improving. So thanks for ruining my dreams.
It'd be hard for it to not improve. I'm just kidding. You're really good.
No, fuck you.
Toxic.
I play tank, so like I'm like the Nick Cooper of like not D5.
What's happening to this podcast? We're all just playing tank champs now.
No, Colton plays the carries still somehow. He hasn't played
Not
tanks.
very well.
You can't say that.
I'm sorry.
In his defense, like, dude, his top one. Nunu's his first tank, and that's his 7th character. So,
Okay. Hey, well done, Colton. You're better than I am. I'll put that up.
let's put it this way: if we go to Nick and Mai's list, mine's a tank first character. Nick's is a tank first character.
I wouldn't be surprised if I have not a tank character in my top 5.
Lucian's number 5.
Maybe Lucian. Okay, yeah. Oh, 6 out of my first 7 are tanks.
I guess
Yeah.
maybe I'll just go back and be Master Yi main so that you guys don't get me shit for playing tanks.
If you climb with it, go for it.
Yeah, no. Play tanks. You're climbing. You're higher elo than we are, or than I am. Not we. Sorry. Didn't want to lump you in there.
But yeah, other than that, I didn't do a whole lot this week. Took like 3 or 4 tests for school this last week, so as far as I know, I did really well in all of them. I think 1 or 2 of them still need to be graded, but the other 2 I did well.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know, just doing regular stuff. How about you, Nick?
Hey, school stuff. Your boy scored a 149 out of 150 on my first test.
I've seen better.
Which is fucking poggers. I didn't feel very confident leaving that, so of course that means I nailed it, right?
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun. I lost some solo queue games. I think that was last week, like prior to last week. But I'm sitting at like 34. I think I played a bunch of games. I think I went +1 on the day. So that's been okay. League's been a little infuriating.
I just want to play normals with my friends. That's all I want to do. I don't want to play ranked anymore. I want to play normals with my friends.
That's not true, Aiden. Every time I invite you, say no thank you.
Okay. I want to play...
You say, quote, I would rather die.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, for real, Colton and I played with a very high elo Katarina One Trick, whose main account, Colton, I found in an I'm a Cutie Pie video. playing Katarina and losing. So I guess some things never change.
Guy was toxic though.
But yeah, was doing pretty well. The game wasn't going, super great. But we were still in it, Game wasn't over. He was doing wolves. Our Graves came up, took the wolves, and then he decided that was it. He's leaving for the rest of the game. So that was a bad one to leave on. So I don't know. It felt kind of bad to lose on that one. I feel like there maybe should be some sort of like reduction in penalty if someone AFKs for a large portion of the game. But maybe I'm just salty in saying that.
Not to steal away from your thunder, Nick, but I just had a Smurf game that I just played where everyone was just smashing lane, like every lane one. We were like had all their like we didn't have their inhibitors down, but we had all their like next like inhibitor turrets down and stuff. Like we were just smashing, not even close. But all of us were like just passive aggressively, just like talking shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, nice play, like pinging your flashes and shit like that. And at some point, just someone on our team broke. I think it was our Lucian or something. Like our Udyr took red and he said, "Why'd you take that?" He said, "Because I'm better," or something like that. And then all of us AFK'd, and we put up a 5-man surrender immediately. Like, just no one wanted the other people to win.
Sometimes it just works that way, I suppose.
Oh, man.
It was funny, though, because like I've never seen, like, we were all in our base, and they were, like, defending their Nexus sort of thing. And we just surrendered.
So the game was basically over.
Yeah.
Oh boy, was this flex or normal?
It was a solo queue game. It was on a Smurf though.
Okay.
I was just playing fucking Predator for Press the Attacker Necked In. I was just trolling around.
Did we ever tell the story of? Oh god, was it the Kane that was carrying super hard, and then it was a 4-man, and we all just gave up instantly? That was like pretty recent. Remember?
I don't remember that now.
I don't remember that.
Oh man, it may still be in my match history. Actually,
Nick with his fever dreams.
And it was there, dude. But we were winning pretty hard. Maybe we lost like a team fight or two. Like in their base getting. I think we had 3 inhibs down. Like it was pretty much over. And then our I think our Kane started talking shit or saying how much he carried, and then we just all instantly surrendered.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Couldn't win. What could we do? Better player wins. Better. I think someone said better jungle wins too. He was like 18-4 or something ridiculous. But I've been playing Nier a bunch, and that game is really good, but really tedious right off of the bat. So that's my only complaint so far, but it's good. And I think that's about it. I start my new job this upcoming week, so the next time we record, I'll be working in a different area. So that's pretty exciting.
Cool.
But let's get into the show. So we want to start off. What do we want to start off talking about first?
Patch.
Let's do the patch then. So patch 8.19 was released. I think it went live like 2 days ago.
Yes.
1 day ago.
Wednesday.
So let's jump into it real quick. So I guess this was a balance update. Was this during? No, sorry, I'm looking at the mid-patch update.
Oh,
This is going to be the world's patch. Was this after the patch or before?
Yeah, they changed her numbers wrong. They literally just ended up accidentally lowering her. Sorry, they like.
Oh.
They didn't know what her like total like number was. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was already 115, I think, or something. So they like lowered it so it was higher at the beginning. They just fucked up her numbers. But
okay. Hey, Fiora, her vital healing, which I guess is her passive, is 40 to 115.
Yeah.
Scaling with levels?
Yes.
With levels, okay.
Darius.
Oh.
Normally you go second, but I can go.
I mean, why'd you talk then?
Because it was like 8 seconds of dead air.
Oh, weird.
But they don't know
You're
that.
trying to take over.
cut.
Yeah, exactly. You sound like the idiot.
Your first
now.
rodeo?
Go ahead. Ian.
Yeah, have you been to a podcast before? Darius.
Have you been to a rodeo before?
This is my second rodeo. W base damage increased. Armor pen increased.
We need to make his lane phase stronger.
I mean, I don't think the W change does much, but I think like adding 5% like pen is just nice though. I don't think he's like just makes him OP, but I think the only problem is you're buffing a character that terrorizes 50% of the player base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think he's good. I think character's fucking dog shit. But, I mean, he stomps, like, high silver to low bronze, right? So...
I think he makes the game entertaining to watch competitively, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the goal for this, is to see some Darius picks for Worlds.
I feel like he's still not good enough to be picked at Worlds, though. It's the problem.
I mean, he's got a real
I
strong
think if
lane.
you win... Yeah, I think if their top laner picked something like a Maokai and you, like, your team, I don't know, had, like, what?
Who picks
Maokai top?
Maokai? Yeah.
I think like into
in
things
EU?
like Ornn or Scion, Cho'Gath,
That's-
which are picks we'll actually see at Worlds. I think Darius can bully them very well.
I'm pretty sure Maokai got picked in, like, EU.
Maokai is dog shit.
He's not dog shit.
He is.
He's cat shit.
But yeah, like, with a Sejuani jungle or something like that, easy, dude. But yeah.
Fiora. Oh, we already talked about that. Passive healing has been adjusted, and then there was
they
a bug
fixed it.
fix on the lunge. Yeah, they fixed it.
Kha'Zix, his passive damage is buffed, his W slow increased. And that includes the evolved slow.
Change that does nothing.
Oh, that... Okay. That's a 90% slow. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was already 80%, I guess, is the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's not that big of a change. Elise, W and E cooldown decreased in spider form. Neither of those changes do anything. 4 seconds off repel. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a 22-second cooldown.
I mean, W makes her clear slightly stronger, but yeah, it's basically nothing. Jarvan, passive cooldown decreased, so it's down to 6 seconds at all levels instead of scaling down to that. So that just makes him stronger in lane, I think, really is the big part there.
His jungle's faster now, too.
True, yeah, for like big camps.
I think it works on anything.
Yeah, but like it matters more on big camps, I think is what I was trying to say. Like when you're doing your red
You're
buff,
not resetting
buff.
twice on Little Raptor.
That's what you think. You don't know how I clear the jungle.
Poorly.
Let them heal
You
back
do
up.
Nunu and Willump, hey, AP scaling on Q's heal is increased, and the AAP ratio is increased.
Is that all it's... Oh,
Cool.
I see. Okay, I see what you're saying. Cool. Yeah, I don't know if he needed AP buffs, but I mean, sure, that's fine. Janna, passive movement speed to damage conversion increased. Woo!
Now, does that work for allies, or...
It's like your Tailwind thing. It's like,
I think that's
what's
just
the-
for Gianna.
Yeah, I think it's just for Janna, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize she had that. That's kind of cool.
It doesn't really do much, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that that's what they chose to change on Gianna. Because like if she gets ahead max's W, it's just so annoying.
Yeah, but then you have Janna. Her shield is garbage now.
Thresh, Q mana cost and early cooldown decreased. Ooh, Thresh buffs.
That's
That's
a
really
bigger
nice.
change, yeah.
Yeah, 4 seconds at level 1, so that's pretty significant.
Reducing the mana cost by
20.
25% as well.
Yeah, that's big.
Pretty big, especially because I think you built coin on him now, so you should just permanently have like enough mana to do stuff. Pike, early ultimate damage increased.
Ooh.
Up 50 early, scaling down to the same at break even at level 11.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good change for a character who's already picked every single game.
I don't think it makes that much of a difference, though, honestly. People are like, holy
Probably
fuck,
not, yeah.
what the fuck is Riot doing? But, I mean, it's like, they probably shouldn't have buffed him, but it's one auto attack difference. And I saw a Reddit that was like, one auto attack difference is so important in pro play. Shut the fuck up. Holy shit. Like, it really doesn't change. I
Said
think
no pro ever.
I mean, like, it does matter, don't get me wrong, but, like, it's a execute. So, I don't know, man. I feel like it's not that crazy of a difference. It's level 6. Maybe it makes a difference right on level 6 if you fight. But after, like, as soon as like, it starts scaling, then it's 40, 30, 20, 10. Like, I don't think it makes any difference, honestly. You know what does make a difference, though?
Yeah.
Tom Kench, the character's dead. Base health down, health per level up. Yeah, this character, you can't play him top lane anymore.
So what, it breaks even at level 10, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but you nerfed it by 70 at level 1.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Well,
Also, I would say Tom Kench is one of the worst late game champions if you're
for sure.
playing him top.
And, like, I think... So, I understand their reasoning for this, right? If they want him to be better top, in theory, make him have extra health top. Like after, in, like, later parts of the game, right? Because then supports don't get high enough levels, so this doesn't, like, buff support, but, like, it buffs characters like top laners. So, Nick... I'll get an extra 70 health I'll get an extra, 86 health by the end of the game.
Poggers.
Isn't that a buff? That's a great buff. No, it's awful.
I mean, it's not worth it for a character who's dependent on all innate level 2.
Don't get me wrong, he had
If
too
not
much base
level
health,
1.
but he had way too much base health, right? 610.
yeah, but if they
Maybe.
lowered
I
it by
don't know, he's
like
like
40, 45, and then just did the same adjustment, I think that might have been better.
Yeah, I just
I
don't.
don't know. I don't even think that's the problem. Like,
No.
he's a character in bot lane who competitively isn't a bully at all, right? He doesn't really do anything in lane, at least competitively.
I do think
He
it
doesn't
helps
have,
at bottom,
like-
honestly.
Sure. It gives him like ways to play against him bot lane, but I already didn't think he was very OP in the bot lane, at least with the things that they're nerfing, you know.
Yeah, he's fucked in competitive. He just, like, ruins playmaking is the problem.
Which I don't have a problem with. I mean, if you want to sacrifice, like, I guess one of your characters being just a get out of jail free card, that's fine. Like, I think there are picks that aren't necessarily utilized.
Yeah, like, look at
into
Braum
him?
compared to him. Like, Braum does so many
Sure.
more fucking things. Braum can't save his teammate to the same degree, but Braum can slow stun, knock up, like, full team knock. Like, it's, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's
But
a little bit too harsh, but...
But there are ways that Braum can save more than Tom Kench. Like, that means you're never getting hit. The wrong person's never getting hit by a Nash arrow. You can't ever pick Nami. Like, I don't know.
It just seems a little bit silly to me, because 70 seems like a little bit much, but that's even more than one auto at level 1, so...
I mean, they removed more than 10% of his health at rank 1.
Yeah.
Like, it's like 15% of his max health is just gone.
Hey, but he gets 86 health by the end of the game, don't worry.
Poggers. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Am I on this one?
Nah,
doesn't
it's
matter.
me now that we're done talking about Tam Kench. Kog'Maw, base movement speed increased, R range increased, so some buffs to Cog. Pretty small
Character's
though.
still bad.
Yeah. And maybe that's a good thing. Protect the Kog'Maw comps are pretty boring, I think. But, item changes. Landry's Torment. The passive max HP burn is increased and the AP has been decreased, I guess, to compensate. So it is more of a tank killer.
It's a buff to almost, like, every single mage who uses it. Like, I don't see how it's a nerf to any character. Like, 5 AP for that. Like, it's a pretty good trade-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 AP for 0.5% max health.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
Per
Per second, too.
Yeah. And then a bunch of champion VFX and SFX updates, which is nice.
Yeah.
Movement speed slow, FFX, objective steal announcements, profile page updates, normal draft matchmaking. They're trying, like, on the on the PBE right now, like, they have the normal draft, like, the new upcoming one for 2019, where it's like you'll get positional based matchmaking and stuff. So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
So then it's just the new skins. You got Championship Kha'Zix, Riven, Thresh, Callista, Shyvana, Zed, and they all now have a golden chroma. I think that's the new part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Championship Kha'Zix is actually new.
Cool.
Yeah, Championship Kha'Zix looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he looks
But
sick.
I don't play that character, so. All right, on to Ezreal WeWork.
Rework?
What do you think about him?
Hey.
He looks, well, I mean, I guess, like, ability-wise, he's very, very similar, it looks like. I'm not sure if they
Yeah.
touch numbers, but
They just
really
added
the only
a
ability...
debuff to his W, right?
Well, his W it's like you put it
It's
on
kind of
them
like a proc.
and then you proc it. Yeah.
Yeah, you put a debuff on them, and then is it depending on what ability you hit them with? It does different things, or is it the same regardless? Do you know?
It's the same thing, I think, with any
Okay.
ability.
So it looked like it only procced off of his Q, but I think that's the only time they showed.
They
it
show
in the
proc off his
video.
ult, I believe.
Oh, do they? Okay.
I believe so.
I guess I didn't see that one.
But like I was even looking at the numbers on the PvE, and I don't think the numbers are even that different. At least like his Q and his ult numbers didn't look very much different. Yeah, they look very, very similar.
That's good. I don't think he's OP, so I don't think he really need to be changed.
Oh, so
I guess it depends on what they're doing for his W. Sorry.
His W, I was going to mention that, is so it costs 50 mana, has a 12-second cooldown. Ezreal fires an orb that sticks to the first champion or objective hit for 4 seconds. Hitting an orb with an ability or attack detonates it, dealing 75 to 255 damage. Detonating it with an ability refunds the cost of that ability plus 60 mana.
Oh shit!
That's pretty cool.
Wait, that's nuts.
Oh, and his Arcane Shift focuses targets that have Essence Lux on them. So,
Ooh.
AP Ezreal, maybe you can do something with that.
I think this is such a good way to, like, prioritize his W being max second now for 80 at least.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something that I think Ezreal has had problems with in the past.
I don't think you can reduce his ult cooldown with Qs though anymore.
Ooh, I'd be fine with that. I don't think that was such a core part of his kit that he needed to keep it.
That was on his ult, right? Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was on everything, but yeah, I'm fine taking that out.
Wait, maybe it. Oh, never mind. Sorry, it's still in Mystic Shot. I thought it was on his passive or his ult, but yeah, it's still there. It's yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Cool.
I think like, what do you think about him as like a character though? Like how he sounds, how he looks though. I think that's like a better, I guess, thing to talk about than his abilities.
I think it fits his personality pretty well.
Yeah.
I think his voice sounds great. A lot of people don't like it though.
A lot of people are 50-50 on it. I mean, I think it fits him better. Like he's always been like a cocky character, kind of.
Yeah, for sure.
I think all the skins look good too.
Oh yeah. What were the ones that you were pointing out? Frosted, I think, looks good.
Yeah, his base, Frosted and Explorer and Nottingham. All three of those, like, for being super base skins, look sick. Like,
Pulsefire does look really cool, too, from the tiny bit they showed.
Yeah, I just meant, like, because, like, those are, like, 500 RP skins, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and now they look like they're real skins.
Not just, like, recolors.
Yeah.
Frosted Ezreal is already always good, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good recolor, yeah.
Nice. So let's talk about Rise, the world song, and the accompanying animated video. So I think let's talk about the video first, because I feel like we'll have more consensus on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I personally think it's like probably one of the coolest. I think it's easily the best, like the coolest animated worlds video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
think for worlds videos, I think it's the best.
I think Ignite comes close, but that's because it's more stylized.
Yeah.
Like in a really like different way. But the video is really fucking good. What do we think about the song? Because I think the song's been a little 50-50.
I think it's really good. Yeah.
I think the song is great too.
I think musically it's probably maybe 2 or 3. I think video-wise it's definitely number 1, and I think overall I'd put it at I think it's the best world's like hype video yet. Overall.
Mm-hmm. There's so much packed into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many little nuggets of Easter eggs.
So one thing I wanna I guess ask you is like, where do you put Ignite in your ranking? Because I have Ignite almost at the bottom, but you always put Ignite like pretty high up there.
For songs or for video?
I mean, I was kind of considering everything as a whole.
I think Ignite is, as a whole, is probably it's probably number 2 after Rise, honestly.
For you? Okay.
I think musically it's not the best. I do really enjoy it a ton musically, but the video just has the video again has so many things like packed into it like, and is integrated so well into like the
narrative
like
of that
the song
tournament.
itself. The song itself, like, and it was a history of Worlds as a whole up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it was super cool, and I'm a sucker for like uniquely like styled animation.
Okay.
And that one like did it real well for me.
Okay.
Musically, it's tough. So like, do we want to run through our rankings of the world songs so far?
Sure, go for it.
Well, let's get them all out there because so first it was Warriors, then Worlds Collide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then Ignite, then Legends Never Die, then Now Rise.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say Warriors number 1.
You were talking strictly music?
Just song, yeah, just song.
Okay, yeah, I think Warriors probably is the best song.
Warriors number 1. I think probably Legends Never Die number 2. Worlds Collide 3. Ignite, then Rise.
I think for me it's like Warriors, and then Legends Never Die, then Rise, then Worlds Collide. I didn't really like the song for Ignite.
Okay.
Yeah, and then mine is Worlds Collide, Legends Never Die, Warriors, Rise, then Ignite.
You just love Nikki Taylor, you little shit.
I think it's the best song by like a lot. I feel like a lot.
It's super good.
Like I was talking to Blue Pour on Twitter, a listener of ours, a really really cool guy, and we were pretty well saying he put like Worlds Collide last, for example. But I was like, the crazy thing is everyone I know like puts every song in different orders, and we kind of came to the conclusion that like all their music's just like really fucking good. Like,
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like I know a ton of people who put Ignite first, honestly. Like
I like Ignite, but I could see it not being everyone's cup of tea.
I really like Worlds Collide. I just think that it's like long. Like it's almost a 4-minute song, and I think it's really repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to write like the first time, you know, that it like comes in, it's so good. But then you like listen for 2 more minutes and nothing's changed. That's my biggest problem with that song. And especially because there's no music video along with it, it's just the audio, I think.
they have the final one, which is pretty cool, which has like it's like longer version of the song though. It's like 6 minutes or something like that. It's like Worlds Collide Final, which I think is pretty fucking cool.
Okay, yeah, I didn't watch that. Because when the new one came out, I went back and I watched all the old ones. So I watched it, and I like, again, like after 3 minutes of it, I was just like, all right, this is the song. This is all I'm gonna get out of this. Nice. Still a really good song.
So anything else before we move on to the event pass?
You see that Perks got sent like a
all the did.
Model of himself.
Yeah, all the people who were in the video did. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Uzi got his Vayne. Ambition got his. I'm not sure Ambition like which one he got because like he had all the characters that he played, right?
Probably as Jarvan.
Yeah.
It seemed like because wasn't Jarvan among his least played in that tournament, but they still included it.
I mean, he got it. That's what he got the skin for, right?
Yeah, it seems like of the champions he played, Jarvan was his favorite. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was that. Although it probably had reference to all of them, honestly.
Yeah.
Cool. Event Pass. Have you guys purchased it? Are you guys planning on it?
Yeah, I purchased mine.
Yeah. I play the game enough.
Also.
How many orbs are you at?
I already spent.
How many tokens are you at?
So hang on. Let's explain it first, right?
No.
Yeah. So you purchased the World Pass, the Event Pass for 1650 RP. Mm-hmm. Which I think is pretty appropriate in price. And you get a bunch of missions. The only one that does not like retroactively give you tokens is the first one of the days. Mm-hmm. So even if you're like on the fence about it, you're not sure if you want to do it, you can still buy it a month from now and not miss out on a month of the missions, which I think is really cool. Mm-hmm. So then you've got a bunch of stuff to spend it on. You get World's Orbs, which give you it's a special orb that you get for most events. And then tokens, which you can spend on the Golden Chromas. The border and icons for the Golden Chromas. Looks like you can buy more orbs, champion shards, wards, emotes, icons, key fragments. I did not see the Kaisa skin in here, which I wanted to address.
I mean, it has not released yet, is the thing.
Oh, it's not released yet. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you do buy the pass, you do get 4 orbs and like 200, I think.
200, yep.
200 tokens. So, like, right off the bat, 4 orbs is like, 4 guaranteed skin shards with chances for essence, gemstones, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like that on its own, I think is a decent purchase for like 1,600, but you get a lot more.
Mm-hmm. And you get the opportunity to earn a lot more. Because I think with the pass, there's not a limit to the number of orbs you can, or number of tokens you can get.
I don't believe so. I'm at like 350 right now.
So I guess it all depends on how much you want to play the game.
Yeah, and you get tokens every single game.
Mm-hmm.
You get like between, I think, like 2 to like 8 tokens every game.
Yeah.
Okay, so and that was the thing that was like, it's based on your play, and if you win or lose, right?
Yeah, so like I think it's
Stuff like
based
that.
on win/loss, and then you're like rank. So if you got like an S plus and you win, I think you get like 8 tokens.
Oh, that's nice. Have they announced how much the Kaisa is going to go for?
2,500.
2,500. That's not too bad.
Tokens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you get a fuckload of tokens. Is the reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Like
Also, it looks fantastic. So,
Yeah.
Oof. It looks really good.
I still need to complete the Odyssey missions.
Same.
Yeah. I just want to do the gemstone. I just want to get my gemstone. That's all I want from Odyssey. But
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
a gemstone, right? Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to pull people. Like, I feel like those ones are much easier than like the Ziggs ones and stuff. Honestly, we just have to get 2 people.
Absolutely.
Like, we should just get like 2 people like this weekend just to do like. You guys still need 4, right? So we'll do 4, 3, and 2, and we'll knock them out.
Yeah. Cool. And I guess that's it for news. So we can talk about Champion Spotlight / Metakaiser, where we're going to be doing something different, and we're going to be doing the world's kind of like highlighting which picks we're going to which champion picks we think are going to make a big impact in worlds. Do we have champions specifically that we want to do, or should we go kind of roll by roll?
I think we should go roll by roll for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I don't think we necessarily have to come up with a certain number.
Nope.
But if any stand out, we can mention them.
Yeah, I'm talking about like characters that are going to be like top of the picks. I guess is what I was thinking.
So I guess we can limit it to, like, if it's a pretty deep pool, we can limit it to 3 most.
I mean, I think we just talk
Max.
about it. I don't think it has to be a number.
Yeah, I don't think we limit or write down. I think we just really want to discuss
We're not writing
who
them
do
down.
we think we're gonna see at Worlds, and then of those, like, there's gonna be a couple obvious standouts of like, this is the probably 10 top laners we'll see at Worlds, but these are the 3 we're actually looking out for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So who do we want to talk about on the top lane aside from Urgot, who I'm going to say is going to have bold prediction, the highest ban rate of any champ going into at the end of Worlds.
You're a fucking crazy.
I don't think that's a
fucking
crazy.
high.
Oh, you're really?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I
we'll
just
have a
came
higher
back.
ban
Why
rate.
is Nick high? Who did he say? Did he
He
say
said that
Nami
Urgot's
top?
gonna have the highest ban rate in all of Worlds.
Ooh.
What the fuck?
Urgot's not getting nerfed on this patch, and he was already seeing almost 100% presence in LCK.
I guarantee you that Kassadin or Pyke are gonna have higher picker ban rates or picker.
Really?
ban
I
rates, yeah.
think so. I think Urgot will probably be like 90%
Top
plus
10.
pick ban.
Yeah.
I think he'll have a 90% or higher pick ban rate. I think there's a decent chance that we'll see it higher. Maybe I think Pyke is probably the one that we'd see maybe higher pick ban, and I think the only reason is that like people have learned and are learning better how to play against Urgot. And I think that's really what we're going to see is like someone's going to come up with a counter pick to Urgot and it's going to work.
Yeah.
Which champion do you think that is?
That's hard to say.
I think in concept, or like in practice, or not in practice, but like theoretically, I guess I think GP is a pretty good pick into him.
I think there are plenty of picks that can like survive the lane, but the reason Urgot's so strong is that even if you're like the other person survives lane, like he's always gonna have priority in basically every matchup, even if he doesn't have kill pressure. And then it's just like a team fighting like fucking bouncer is the term they use, where he's just sitting on the carries, like you can't really get near them or you're gonna get shredded. Like it's just such a strong and almost unique role where like he's a tank that plays the back line a lot of times.
How does the Urgot Aatrox matchup work?
It's not outstanding.
Seems like it'd be pretty even.
But Urgot wins it and has, or at least in my experience, like he does eventually win it, and like Aatrox never can really bully him around a whole lot, but Aatrox can also match push decently well.
Yeah, he can match push wave clear, and I feel like he can get through like the bouncer status of him in the fights, though, is what I'm saying. Because I think Aatrox is still a good pick into it, honestly.
Yeah, I think Aatrox is a fine pick. I think the really great thing, though, is that when Aatrox ults, like, you're not going to kill him with your ultimate, but you are going to reposition him like a madman, so when he comes back out, you just murder him.
Yeah.
Where, like, he's trying to ult, and then you just, like, reposition him 600 units, and it's like, well, too bad.
So we definitely have Urgot. Urgot's obviously going to be played. I mentioned Aatrox because he was already like super strong and they buffed him for some reason that didn't nerf him, so everyone's going to play him. Nick mentioned GP. I think GP is in a weird spot. I think he's definitely has potential. He's definitely not going to be a top tier pick, but like, I think he's definitely going to be played.
He'll see play, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's. I don't think he's
Scion's pretty obvious. I mean, he's just been like
Scion, Cho'Gath, Ornn are like the big tanks.
Yeah, Scion just gets too much health from his, is it his W or is it
W?
His Soul Furnace is crazy. You get like
his
1,000.
W plus, his W plus, what's it called, Grasp, just gives you like easily 1,500 health in a game, which shouldn't happen. Like, that's too much.
Yeah, and especially for, like he's one of the characters that can go Warmog's second item, no problem. And
I've seen
that's tough.
I've seen games where they go what's it called? What's the gargoyles into gargoyles into Warmogs, and that's fucked. That's fucked.
Mm-hmm. It's such a crazy path. I think the more common one is like you'll get one item for laning, and then you go Warmogs, and then you go gargoyles. I've seen it typically. Or even third item.
I've seen Righteous Glory first item on him.
Yeah, like Righteous Glory or Sunfire if you're against a magic damage, a Spectre's Call item, but. Again, being able to go Warmog second is crazy.
Honestly, I think my favorite part of Scion as a character is that in team fights you don't have to hit anything because you have so much HP that just standing there is like doing your job well. That's ridiculous.
Them sitting there autoing you is basically CC because they're not moving.
That's your job is to sit there and be attacked.
Yeah. And I mean, also, honestly, like, his escape potential with the ultimate is really strong. If they don't get clean behind you, you just ult out and you get out every time. Otherwise, they have to flash to, like, get it off. So, it's really potent. I think...
What about some... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like... So, we talked about, like, the three big tanks in... Scion, Cho'Gath, and Ornn. I think that we'll see some Gnar as just a bully to those characters. One pick I expect that we'll see but not much of is Quinn. Keen's Quinn is so good. So
I don't think we'll see any Quinn.
I think you'll see Keen on Quinn, and I don't think you'll see anyone else.
What about Poppy?
Respectfully disagree.
I think Poppy's really good right now. I think Poppy's going to see some play. Not like a ton of play, but like still more than like a couple games, I think.
I could see Poppy play for sure, especially with like Zac rising up in priority in the jungle. Poppy just shuts that down.
She shut down a lot of the like really good characters, Kali, Irelia.
Yeah, all of those really hypermobile characters that go in and out. Okay, I mean, I think that's a pretty round out top. I mean, do we expect probably we'll see some Jaces, maybe a Rumble or two?
Rumble, if Gnar becomes
no
played,
Jace.
people are playing Rumble to counter Gnar now.
Yeah, and then there was also the buff of Leandries, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Rumble.
Yeah.
I hope we don't see any Jace.
Yeah.
I don't think that character is very fun to watch.
Cool. What about jungle?
Jax maybe. I think we might
Jax.
see Jax.
I think Jax jungle's like. Actually, I don't know. What do you think is more likely, Jax jungle or Jax top?
I think we might.
I think
see
Jack's
both.
top. I think teams don't like to play him tanky, and I think you have to go like. Well, I don't think you have to go it, but I think his best jungle item is Cinderhulk.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just puts you 1,500 gold away from better, harder carry items.
Mm-hmm. I think Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the jungle pool is going to be very like the top of it's gonna be very like refined, but we're gonna see like a lot of picks, like a lot of like one-off picks. You know what I mean? But like for the most part, it's gonna be super defined. I think.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's gonna end up being we'll see one-off picks because it's gonna be like 5 jungle bans just to try and make someone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So who are we thinking are like the most prominent junglers? Probably, I'm thinking Gragas is still up there, right?
Gragas, Evelyn, Lee Sin,
Graves.
Graves, yeah.
Graves.
I still think it's hard to say that there's a jungler like more let's say blind pickable than Graves.
Yeah.
I think he just fits into most comps, and he's just strong enough that he doesn't have a specific counter to shut him down instantly.
Mm-hmm. I think Trundle's still out there for sure, particularly if the other team picks a tank. I think Sejuani and Zac and Kindred are all still out there in the very immediate pickable junglers.
Hopefully we'll see some Camille. I think Camille jungle is super entertaining.
Yeah, we'll definitely see Camille jungle. I think she's one of the. She's her range
pretty top priority LPL.
Yeah, her range on her ganks with like her E is just stupid. It's just so dumb.
That's you can't do anything about that.
You shouldn't be able to flash that. Like Nick and Colt and I were sitting in customs last night, like practicing around with like abilities that you can like use the ability and flash and like move it. She shouldn't have that. That shouldn't be something that she can do. It's just too strong. It extends her like 1,400 range stun to like 1,700 range. That's stupid.
Yeah, and I guess that. I guess I don't have a problem with that. It's that you just flash on top of them and it stuns because you're the projectile. You don't have to flash, like, aim something, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that would be a little different if it had... I don't think it should work this way, but maybe I'd be more fine with being able to flash to extend it if it were something like Tariq's stun, where you actually have to aim it prior to like flashing for free.
I just think the combination of it being her plus it being already that range. Like I don't have a problem with you being able to flash Gragas stun onto people. But that's
because his E doesn't have 1,000 range.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I think definitely we'll see Camille. I think primarily out of LPL junglers, and I think there's one Korean who plays it. I don't know how much we'll see out of NA and EU, but I know the LPL really prizes that pick. I
really think it's going to be high Gragas Graves is the main thing.
Yeah, Gragas Graves. Now, you mentioned Evelyn, and I haven't seen a lot of it. I mean, I think she is hella strong right now. But do you think the meta of Worlds, which typically ends up being the Korean meta, which is just vision, slow play, like, do you think that's going to discourage Evelyn play, or are we still going to see some?
I think
more vision slow play helps Evelyn.
I wouldn't say slow play helps her. But
I think early slow play does, for sure.
That's the only part where like her being stealth is the only part is early game, right? And that kind of fucks her. But I think it's more the fact that she's one of the only good like heavy AP jungles is the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think
like you have Nidalee, which I don't like. I think she'll be. I think Nidalee will be played. I think she'll be played less than Evelyn though.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, honestly, a lot of the Kragases are going Runic Echoes into Hourglass, so they still fit that little role of, like, AP burst, but then they get to move into tank and still be really effective.
Yeah.
Like, while also maintaining enough base damage to, like, 70 to 0 on 80 carry. I
think Lee Sin's going to be high priority still.
Yeah.
Like, not high priority, but like high pick, I guess, still.
I think he's high pick, low priority, yeah. Where he's... what about Olaf? I think Olaf's there, too. I'd say Olaf is there, and then I think we'll probably see, like, less than 5, but more than 1 game of Skarner.
Okay.
Any thoughts on that?
I think Skarner will get picked more than that.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, so that's our jungle pool, right?
Yeah.
Do we want to move then into mid?
Mid lane seems wide open.
Yeah.
I feel like there are not many characters you can't play.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, there are definitely some that are standout strong picks. I mean, have to talk about Kassadin.
I think the top 3.
Have to talk about Akali.
I think the top 3 are Akali, Kassadin, and Aurelia.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I think LeBlanc's out there. I think Lyssandra's out there. Zoe, still all very strong picks.
I don't think Zoe's good.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I think, again, I don't think she's top priority, but I think we'll see plenty of Zoe play at Worlds. Rise,
I just think
for
she's
sure,
one of those
is up there. Rise, super popular.
I'm not talking. Nothing.
I'm trying to think, like, what else. There's been some Vel'Koz play, but I don't imagine we'll see a ton of it. Galio, actually, I think Galio's got a decent chance for a high pick rate, just because against a lot of those, like, burst assassins, you can really safely pick Galio, and then late game, right, you just ult on your AD carry, and then the Aurelia becomes half as effective.
Mm-hmm.
Is there... Do we think we'll see any, like, support mids? Just to, like, buff up AD carries, like the Karmas and the Lulus?
Probably not. I don't think AD carries are strong enough to put your chips all in there.
Yeah, it's a little tough to... I don't think we'll see it. We might see, like, a game of it. With that being said, Aatrox and Urgot are also very flexible into the mid lane. Particularly against, like, the Aurelias and the Akalis and the Kassadins of the game, where you can just bully those lanes really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so... Do you want to talk bot or support? Or, sorry, ADC or support?
Bottom's, I think, the correct way to refer to it.
Yeah, alright.
I mean, obviously, I guess the big picks are
Kai'Sa
probably...
Varus.
Oh, I was thinking Jhin.
Oh.
Yeah, Kai'Sa Varus, Xayah, Ashe, Jhin.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kai'Sa Varus are probably 1 and 2. I think there's a really high priority on Ashe just for engage and getting some extra CC in your team. You also said, what, Jhin and... Just one other one.
Xayah,
yeah. I think Tristana will definitely see a decent amount of play. I think she's pretty strong right now. And again, she just scales so crazy well. Do we think we'll see Caitlyn for just lane dominant picks?
Hell no. Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
Caitlyn, I think, is one of the worst characters in the game right now.
Okay, so...
I don't think she does anything better than another champion.
So yeah, I don't think she's great right now. The only reason I'm asking is because it was picked in the LPL finals.
I don't know. I don't think she's good. She doesn't do anything, honestly.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll see much of her. I think if anything, it'll be like either groups or like game 1 or 2 in a best of 5 where they want to have really high lane priority, and then they'll just see over and over again that it's not quite worth it. Like, you'll have lane priority, you will outpush, you'll probably get first tower, but you probably won't win the game.
I don't know. I think laning phase has gotten too easy to survive. Like, you can manage with what? You can start corrupting potion, time work tonic on most AD carries and be fine.
Yeah, I mean, that does
And
give a
then
lot of characters just like a get out of jail free card, which in that case, right, you're not going to kill them. All you're going to do is shove to tower and take tower first, and you're going to get, you're going to get your 500 bonus gold.
So then you just pick like winning lanes on the other side of the map, and then there's really nothing.
Yeah, and you just play top.
Yep.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
Do we think we're going to see the Yasuos and Swains and Vladimirs in bot?
I could see Swain and Heimer, but I think the others are better in other roles.
Okay, I would also then say I want to put Yasuo into the mid pool as well. I think we'll see Yasuo for sure. So I guess yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably most of bot lane. Yeah, I don't imagine seeing really much of anything else down there. Ezreal maybe. Yeah, I think we'll see Ezreal picks.
Yeah, Ezreal's kind of always the safest thing to fall back on.
Yeah, it's really you have such a safe lane on Ezreal, and I think particularly with the priority of Pyke in the tournament, that's going to boost the strength of Ezreal, because he can he can farm under tower really safely and get out of ganks better than most AD carries, which just unlocks your Pyke to roam better.
I'm not sure if you guys mentioned it, but did you say Vayne?
I'm
thinking there's gonna be some Vayne, dude.
You think so?
Yeah, give me some Uzi Vayne.
I wouldn't be surprised if Uzi picked Vayne. I don't think. Do you think it'll be like a good pick of the tournament, or do you think Uzi's just gonna style on kits with it?
I think it's actually not that bad of a pick, I guess. But
okay.
I think it's just like has a really strong mid game right now.
Gotcha. We also covered mid while you were gone. Did you have any picks that you think we might have missed, or just quick things?
Assuming you got like all the main ones, like Irelia, Kassadin, Twisted Fate, Ori, Mal's, Ari.
I think the only one we didn't talk about was Twisted Fate.
I think Twisted Fate
we
is
didn't
talk about Akali
specifically mention. I don't think Ori or Mal's, but I mean, I think Mal's fits the same role kind of right now as Lissandra, as like the pick this to counteract someone else's pick.
I think he's better than Lissandra, though, I guess.
I think he's better than Lissandra in every matchup, pretty much except Akali. I think that Lissandra smashes Akali, which is her primary reason to be picked, is to just dig on Akali picks.
Are we going to see any Zoe still?
I think we will. Nick said no.
We talked about that. I think she's a shit champion.
She's not great.
Let me rephrase. I think she is a champion that does very poorly when she falls behind. And generally, win more champions are not as meta resistant as others.
I think you'll still see Korean mid laners pick Zoe because they think they can win more. And I think that it will probably work out in more cases than it won't.
Did we talk about the assassins, I'm assuming?
We'll see.
Sorry, go ahead.
Which assassins?
Zed, Talon, and there was one more. Zed's not going to be played, by the way. But
No.
I guess Talon, Akali, like LeBlanc.
So yeah, I mentioned LeBlanc. Obviously, Akali's definitely there. I don't think we talked about Talon at all. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Talon.
I think he's the best AD mid other than Irelia.
It's tough for me to determine between him and Yasuo. I think Aurelia is one, and then him and Yasuo are kind of tied too.
I just think he can do more into like a lot of oppressive lanes than Yasuo can, I guess.
Yeah. And then I was also kind of mentioning how I think Galio will be a strong pick, just because he does well into so many of those assassins where you just take Aftershock, don't lose lane, and then late game make them half as effective on assassinating people because you just press R.
Okay, so what about Zillion? Do you think other regions pick up Zillion? I know only NA was really playing it, but
I doubt it.
This kind of transitions into support because NA was playing it mid and support, but like no one else was really playing it. So
I don't think we'll see a lot of Zillion. I think NA will continue to pick it, and I wouldn't be surprised if other people took it just to take it away from them. And I mean, I think they'll use it well, and I think it'll work, but I don't see it as like a priority pick in any means. You know, I think it's in that, like, we'll see like 1 to 5 plays of Zillion probably throughout the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're into support, right? So obviously Pyke, Braum, Alistar for sure. I mean, I think those are probably the most contested picks right now, unless I'm forgetting about something.
I think Braum is going to be the most picked support other than Pike, I guess.
I think Braum's the most picked, right? Because Pike is banned so much.
Yeah. I don't think you ban Braum, honestly. Like, I feel like you can deal with him. He's just, like, super strong.
Yeah, I think with the Thresh buffs, I think we'll see Thresh play.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Add Thresh there. Soraka, I think we'll definitely see. I think in terms of like Enchantresses, she's the best because she gives you so much priority in bot lane.
I think Tom Kench will still see a lot of picks, even though he's like nerfed. I feel like he's just so good in a competitive setting.
Yeah, I think we'll see Tom Kench primarily probably into assassin comps or comps with like Malzahar, Lysandra, where they're just, they're going to ult the AD carry and then you're going to eat them out. And I'm going to say it like that every time, so.
Nice. Any other support mentions?
What about like cheesy supports? Do you think we'll see any AP?
Rakan will be there.
I mean, Rakan's fucking OP and competitive still.
I think we might see Nami.
Yeah, I'm thinking, are we gonna see any like mage supports like Vel'Koz, Zyra, Annie, Xerath, stuff like that?
Honestly,
that's tough. I don't.
Maybe Vel'Koz, maybe.
Maybe
we'll
Vel'Koz.
see Vel'Koz mid. We're gonna see Vel'Koz mid. I don't know if you guys mentioned that.
We did, yeah.
Yeah,
maybe Brand.
I don't think it'll be popular, but I think we will see a couple games of Vel mid. I think with the prevalence of Braum right now, that shuts down a lot of those like mage supports because they're gonna try and throw their combo and he's just gonna unbreakable it.
Cool.
All right.
So yeah, Worlds. I'm excited. It starts in a couple days, which we're kind of skipping ahead, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna watch every game.
They start at, you watch VODs, I'm assuming, because they start at 12. Yeah. They start at 11:30 for you, I think. They start at 12:30 for Nick and I, and then they go last games at 4:30 every day.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be probably just watching VODs at like 1.5 speed, but I did catch up. I watched the NALCS finals, EULCS finals, LPL finals, and then like the entire Korean playoffs. So I'm very excited, right? I'm always more excited about competitive the more that I watch. So I'm pretty hyped for Worlds right now.
Mm-hmm. They started like 12 in the afternoon or
like at night,
in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that sucks.
You get to watch half of the first game, and then you wake up and the game's over.
Yeah, pretty much. Cool. Roundtable.
Last week's question was, what did you waste your 3 refunds on? From our Facebook, Josh said, Zach, Karma, and Yasuo. Yasuo wasn't a waste. I was sending a message. He's been deleted from my game via ban buttons anyways. Tom said, I only remember funding Lee Sin because my D2 friend who got me into the game said he was so strong, so I bought him. I didn't know that you could recast the second part of any of his abilities, so I just instant refunded him, assuming he sucked. Michael said, I refunded Battle Boss Veigar, bought a mystery gift for myself, got the same Veigar skin. Brian said, I bought Elise with RP because it would take me a few days to get the IP. And then from our Discord, Dr. Otter, who's actually listening right now, said, so I bought Cosmic Reaver Cassidy. He goes on sale the next day, so I instantly refund that bad boy. Get Draven for 6.3k IP. And I'm like, nah, yeet him back and buy Yorick instead. And then for the grand finale, I bought some 1,350 RP skin and refunded that to get Elise half off and Blood Moon Elise. That last one doesn't sound like a bad refund, but the other ones are pretty rough. From our Discord, Little Barnabas said, I don't remember the other two, but I know I refunded almost Prom King Amumu for Emumu. I feel like there's so many people who like buy a skin, they're like, nah, I'm gonna get a different skin for this character. They're like, not a fan of this one.
Mumu's got so many good skins though. Oh, and they're making a new one.
Yeah, this is Nick's favorite answer, I know that. Red Lifty said, I still have all mine. What's wrong with you people?
I'm just saying that's a lie. Blatant.
And Guitar Guru said, I don't know that the refunds even existed, or I didn't even know they existed yet. Oh, hey, nice. Dude, we're educational. This week's roundtable question is, where did I write it down? Right there. Wait, no.
Who's going to win Worlds this year?
Yeah, who's going to win Worlds this year? Super basic.
Oh, I'll say RNG.
Yeah?
I have faith.
What about you, Colton?
I think it's going to be RNG, but I really, really, really want it to be KT.
Yeah, I want it to be KT as well. I'm voting KT, but I don't think it's going to happen,
I would be
buddy.
so happy if KT won. I think that it's probably like, I think there's like a 45% chance RNG wins, like a 40% chance that Gen G wins, and then like the remaining 15% chance KT wins.
Well, honestly, when's the last time a number one China seed getting hyped before a tournament has ever disappointed? Especially Worlds. That's never happened before, right?
China always disappoints, dude.
That's the joke.
I feel like it's going to be really, really good, though, when China does win in Korea this year. That's gonna cause some problems, dude. There's gonna be riots in Korea.
What do you think the chances are that we'll see 3 Korean teams and the 4 teams at semis?
Not
pretty high.
I mean,
probably.
in semis.
I wouldn't be surprised if the bracket allows it if we saw 3 Korean teams of the 4 at semifinals.
I mean, we're definitely gonna see all 3 at quarters, right?
Oh yeah.
Out of the 8, and then we're probably gonna see 2 or 3 Chinese teams, I would argue. So, I mean, I guess it's pretty good. I'd say it's like 50-50, like we do or we don't.
Mm-hmm. I just think like KT, Afrika, and Genji are all so good.
Yeah, I guess like if one of them comes out of group second, like say Genji comes out second versus RNG, which is likely, I would argue, they can get rolled into playing a Korean team in quarters, right?
Yeah.
That's my like only way I think they won't is if they team killed themselves in quarters.
Yeah. But if the bracket allows them to get there, that's was my condition of that question.
Okay.
Is like if the bracket allows it that they don't have to play each other before quarters, I think it's likely that we'll see 3 Koreans and then RNG in the quarterfinals. Sorry, the semifinals.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty likely. Yeah. If you want to tell us who will win Worlds this year, you can hit us up on our Facebook at Leaguecast Podcast. Send us email, mail@leaguecastpodcast.com. Come into our Discord.
Why is it G-Rex?
Why is it G-Rex? And post in our roundtable discussion thread. It's a lot of fun. Hit us up.
Yeah, LCS. So Worlds group draws happened, and we talked about that on our Patreon show. So if you'd like to hear our opinions on the groups themselves and who we think is going to win, and I think we went all the way to the end of the tournament, if that interests you. So yeah, check that out. And then Worlds play-ins, like we've mentioned a couple times on the show, starts in 3 days as of recording this. It starts on the 1st of October, so make sure to tune in. I think we've got a couple teams that we'd be cheering for, mostly Cloud9, but we'll have to tune in and see. And then that takes us to Mail Fight, which we have 3 messages / emails.
My section, you ran right over it.
Oh yeah, your cheese pick.
We can skip it if you want.
No.
I know you don't normally like this, so we'll just not do it this week, Nick.
Well, I think this is good cheese because I suggested it.
So you pitched this to me initially as a support, right? And I don't think it works very well as a support, to be honest. So okay. I'm pitching Glacial Augment Annie mid, and it's kind of a rip-off of like the Glacial Augment Vel'Koz, where you basically get your auto attack with the slow, and then you can hit your combo a lot easier, and then you go like Twin Shadows, just because it creates like so much slow that it's really easy to hit your stuff and keep people off you. You know, for Vel'Koz, it's more of like keeping you safe to cast your abilities, whereas Annie, it just lets you like open up more. So again, we're going mid lane Annie, taking Glacial Augment, Magic Footwear, Minion Dematerializer, Cosmic Insight, and then we're going into Cheap Shot and Igneous Hunter as our secondary. And I want to do Igneous Hunter just because we're getting a lot of active items, and having them off cooldown faster is really strong, and it lets you actually utilize your Glacial Augment a lot more. Cheap Shot because you're going to auto and slow them, so then your next abilities are going to do more true damage because they're already CC'd. Anyway, so again, we're going to rush Twin Shadows. After that, most of the Vel'Kozes are going GLP, but I think Protobelt's better for Annie. You know, it lets you close, and you're still going to get that nice little slow field. Plus, it gives you, like, health, which you kind of need since you're going to be running into them. I'm going to also go a Spellbinder, a Shirelia's, Boots, either cooldown or Spell Pen. I think either one honestly works. Having your Flash on a lower cooldown I really like, but I think in most cases probably Sorcerer's Shoes is better. And then you finish it off with like a Void Staff or Death Cap, depending on how much AP you have on your team. But again, with Igneous Hunter, as the meme goes, you're going to have your Twin Shadows, your Protobelt, your Spellbinders, and your Shirelias all on like 30-second cooldowns. It's really low. And you just get to use them all the time. Because again, with that Mastery plus Cosmic Insight, I think you're reducing the cooldowns on those items by like 45%. So, yeah. The reason I think it's better mid, by the way, is just because you don't really get enough gold on support, I think, to get like Twin Shadows at a reasonable time to make it really effective. And then you don't really like get any other items either. You are spending everything on like wards and getting your support items out of the way. So I think with mid, you just, you get access to these items sooner and you get a lot more out of them. So yeah, that's Glacial Augment Annie mid. I'd recommend using it with the Frostfire Annie skin, because, ice and ice. We're pairing that with Havarti, which I have used before, but, I wanted to talk about it because I really like Havarti cheese. It's a creamy, semi-soft Danish cow's milk cheese. It can be sliced, grilled, melted. I normally have it on sandwiches, either cold or melted, but it is one of my favorite cheeses. So unlike last week's, this is a cheese I'm actually pretty familiar with and I really like.
So,
is it cheese or is it shit?
So, 2 comments. One is constructive criticism. That is that from the perspective of all Annie mains, I've actually looked into some Annie guides because I wonder if there's any intricacies on this character, right? The only thing is that every Annie main takes what's the sudden, not set, is it sudden impact, the one that you whenever you dash or whatever you get pen? Yeah, they take that on her as if they build what's it called, Protobelt. They always, if they're planning to build Protobelt, they're always going to take sudden impact because it's just way more effective if you can actually proc it.
Yeah.
So that would be my only main change.
So yeah, I was really at a toss up between Cheap Shot and Sudden Impact, and I definitely think there's a lot of strength to going Sudden Impact. I haven't tested a lot of it, so my just initial gut reaction was you're gonna proc that Cheap Shot every wave in lane because you just auto attack them to slow with Glacial Augment and then you hit your combo. But I think Sudden Impact definitely would be very strong as well. I'll try it both ways when I test it this week.
Yeah, I think it's just I'm maybe this actually might be more effective for you because I know you're not gonna have as much AP as a traditional Annie build, because I know with a traditional Annie build it adds an extra 100 or so damage to your combo, which is actually pretty big. So Sudden Impact, that is. And my other thing was that I think why Nick wanted you to play it support is because it is less of a burden on your team to carry, because you're kind of off in a side lane and not absorbing gold that could be used on real characters.
Well, I think my thought process was you set up picks easier for ganks. You get that auto attack down, you get the stun, and then that should be enough damage to clean up.
Yeah, to be fair, the game I did play it as support, I was against a Braum Lucian lane, and I was with a Kai'Sa, so we just didn't have a lane phase, really, right? So again, I think if you're playing with an aggro AD carry and a jungler who actually came, it definitely could work. But at least the game I was in and what I saw as a potential problem is by the time you can afford Twin Shadows, which is a 2,300 gold item or something like that, it's up there. The laning phase has already been decided.
Sure.
But again, I think it definitely can work support as well. My testing, I think I'm probably going to do it primarily mid. So that's this week's cheese pick. Aiden, can we get an assessment?
I mean, it's fine, but that's like playing, say, like, I'm going to play Aatrox, but I'm going to run Klepto. You're pretty well playing the same character, but you just change the keystone, so... I don't know. It
How
seems
many
like just you're
Twin
playing
Shadows Annies do you see?
I don't think it's like that weird of an item.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think it's like
well-
almost like Annie, but I think it's playable. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Well, hey, we're in Malphite actually this time.
Well, hey, thanks, Colton. Tune in next week, guys, for something paired with mozzarella.
What about cheddar? Have you used cheddar before? Have you heard of American?
Cheese
Hey,
whiz in a
first
can.
emails from Cheese. First emails from Jordan. He said, "Just wanted to let you guys know that Scott Pilgrim, a documentary about young adults in Canada, is available on Netflix." Thank you, Jordan. I saw that actually. Oh, speaking of Netflix, I'd recommend watching a movie called The Endless. I don't think the special effects are anything to write home about, but the story itself and the interactions between characters are very, very good, and I'd recommend it.
Nick, how does it make you feel that we have about 3,000 something listeners and none of them are going to watch that?
Maybe we'll hear from someone who's already watched it.
Ooh,
I said that very strangely. Who has already watched it?
you're
Hey,
not
Nick.
going to come out and say that after you recommended it, though.
Hey, Nick, how do you feel that we have 3,000 listeners and 1,500 of them turned off the podcast when we went into Malphite?
I mean, whatever.
There's some good shit out on Netflix. I guess tangent. Aiden, did you see Mother's Basement's video on like Netflix animes that he was recommending?
Yeah.
I love that Uran High School Host Club was number 1 on his list.
Is it good?
Because it's one of my favorite. It's like a guilty pleasure where like, 1, it's a harem anime, and then 2, it's just ridiculous, but it is so good. And when he like went into all the reasons why it was so good, I was just like, yes, justify me loving this show.
Yeah.
I think you'd honestly really like it. The characters are just great. Like, it's just got such a good fucking cast of characters.
Yeah.
But anyway, email.
I can read this
the
one
sec-
because it was actually sent to me as a message, and I said,
Ooh.
"Hey, we'd do it on the show because we were going to record in 10 minutes." So we got a message from someone from our Discord, Top Tier Grill, and she said, "Hey, do you have any links to videos or forums for support advice? I'm getting hard stuck in high gold, and a lot of times I'm not sure what to do different. I like your podcast." And she said to me, "I know you're a top tier support. Sorry if this is posted somewhere else. I didn't see if so." And I said pretty well, like, well, I don't think there's one way to like get better at support. So like, it'd probably be better for like a discussion type thing rather than like me just posting a link to like someone's video or something like that. So I was wondering, what's your guys' advice for getting better at support? What things you can do differently to climb as support?
I think that there is a lot to be said for just some like really basic principle things that you can do on support, like time cooldowns of summoner spells, just do it. Time wards, just do it. Like, if you can do those things consistently every time, that puts you significantly ahead, even if, like, mechanically you're not very good, even if macro you're not very good. Like, if you just do this every time, you're adding so much information to your team's, like, decision pool that, it really matters. I would say after that, I mean, mechanical proficiency, I think, doesn't matter quite so much on some supports, but if you are going to play mechanically intensive supports, it's just like, you gotta get your, combos down and hit your abilities. So those are some, I guess, right off the bat things I would say. I'll let you add in, and then I've got some more that I want to say later.
Sure. So like one of the things that I like about support is that I'm not going to say it's the easiest role, but you have, I'd say, more downtime than other roles. Your main thing is you're warding, so you always want to be warding for the next big thing. So Dragon's coming up in a minute. You want to ward the entrances and exits, sweep all their wards near the pit, right? You always want to do that in advance rather than doing it right as it's happening. So you're kind of setting up vision for it in advance. But one of the cool things is that everyone else is focusing on like 1v1 matchups. If you're playing a more passive support, like say like a enchanter support, where you're not looking to like always be engaging, you should be watching the minimap for your team. If you can ping that the jungler is on his red because you like someone used a scrying orb, or jungler passive or reward anywhere on the map, you can just ping that. And even if you just say like Nocturne top side, Nocturne bot side, you see them someone recalling, just Nocturne at base or something like that. Like just being able to type little things that keep your team updated, like with position to where they should be playing, or even just spam pinging like stuff. You see their jungler running up top side of river, just ping the shit out of your ping the shit out of your top laner that he's been ganked. Or something that I always do is, say if two people are fighting, like say the jungler is 1v1ing the other jungler in the, like say at red buff, just ping the fight like 2 or 3 times, like ping assistance 2 or 3 times. Even though you're not the one who's going to be going there, like you're too far away, or you won't have any impact, you need to make sure that your team's aware of it. And if you can be their eyes and ears, like I feel like it helps out so much.
Yeah, so I want to jump on to what Aiden just said of like pinging what's happening on the map. I think honestly, like learning how to jungle is a great way to get better at support. Just because what he was just saying, like those are things also as a jungler you should be doing, and learning the pathing and like lane position. I think the most necessary place to do it is the jungle. Like if you don't do that in the jungle, you're just a bad jungler. So I think it's easiest to learn from the perspective of jungler, but like knowing where the enemy jungler is and where they're pathing, you know, looking at wave positions, pinging when fights break out, or like when the enemy jungler shows up, like doing this on support again is so effective, like Aiden was saying. And I think that one of the ways you can just train yourself to kind of always be looking for that stuff anyways, by playing jungle for a bit. You know, even if it's just like 15, 20 games of doing it and practicing those skills of tracking people, you know, saying, hey, Elise going topside, Elise is going towards dragon, you know, oh, we just saw Elise clearing blue buff, she's going to head to bot side in like 10, 15 seconds. You know, those are all things that junglers are doing, and that ideally supports should be doing too. And at, you know, at the highest level, right, every position should have an idea of what's going on everywhere, but realistically, there's probably 1 or 2 people paying close attention to it, calling it out. And again, if you have downtime, which support has more of than most roles, you should be trying to do that, right? If you're not doing anything to support your team, you know, honestly in any role, but I think like, right, if you're just sitting in a bush as support doing nothing, you want to find something to do during that time, whether it be calling where someone is, what cooldowns are there, you know, moving to put out vision. You know, there's so much you can be doing in that downtime to increase your chances of winning the game.
Yeah, like I play with someone who like has very little, I'd say, map awareness, but like just being able to ping like, oh, the jungler, or I'm on comms usually, but it'll be like the junglers are like fighting right below you. Like noticing that even like 2 seconds before them, like is super, super important. Like just getting that information across to your team is honestly really important. Or like even like little things like deep warding for your top laner to TP when he has priority, right? Like you look at him, he's like, oh, he's up CS, he has the wave pushing in. Maybe this would be a good time for him to TP, so you put a ward for him to TP. Like little things like that. Like it doesn't always like work out, but even if you're increasing your win rate by like 1 or 2% by always doing these things, like it's how you start to make a difference.
Yeah, right. That's how the 50% win rate player goes to the 52% win rate player, goes to the 54% win rate player. And if you can maintain a 54% win rate, like you will climb.
And then there's obvious things that like apply to every role. Like if you can expand your champion pool so you can always pick to fit your team, that's great, right? Like if Nick only plays enchanters and his entire team picks AD, well, he better hope that his entire team pops off, or else you lose because he picked full AD. Whereas if he could play like maybe like a brand or something in that situation, he might be able to like negate some of that like mismatch of damage. Or if the entire team is hard engaged, being able to play peel characters like Tom, John, stuff like that is super, super important. So being able to like have a champion pool where you can adapt to what your team's picking is honestly great. Or even like depending on what your AD carry is. If you have a Kai'Sa, you're not going to like smash lane with Kai'Sa. So picking an enchanter is really, really good. But if you have a Draven, yeah, Janna's good because it buffs him up and it protects him a little bit. But I'm sure he'd much rather have like an Alistar or something.
Yeah, I think one other pretty primary skill for supports is being able to determine when your jungler comes whether or not it was a gank or whether it was a save.
That's toxic. You can't say that. But it is really important, like, just understanding, like, how the game flows, I guess. Like, you are kind of someone who can dictate to your team, even though a lot of people don't like being told what to do. You can kind of, like, suggest of, like, what's happening on the map and what should continue, I guess.
Yeah, so hopefully that helps.
Yeah,
hopefully
if you have any more,
you'll soon be a top-tier grill support.
If you have any more, like, specific questions about stuff, like, we're more than happy to answer. It's just, like, I think it's, like, a general question of, like, how to climb in high gold to support. I feel like there's a lot of things you can do. It depends what you're currently doing versus what you could be doing, right?
Yeah. All right, so we're into here then our third email. Nick, did you want me to read this one, or did you want to go?
Hey, it's your turn.
Okay. Well, I don't know. You haven't talked for a bit, so I wasn't sure if you wanted to.
No, go ahead.
Why are you so toxic, Nick? We're just having a discussion. Oh my god.
What? I don't think I was very toxic.
That's fucked up, man.
Guess you haven't been around in TeamSpeak every time you talked to me in the last week.
Dude, he's so mean to you.
Hi, Leaguecast. Back to PG-13 content. Brace yourself, because this is a long one. The other day I was thinking about how support is the most boring role in League right now, and pretty much always has been. So I was thinking of ways to fix it, and the first that came to my mind was the way the USA solves its problems. Throw money at it. This is the main change I'm proposing for support. Gold generating items now give 1.5 times the gold income for every wave. Example, Targon's Shield now lets you execute only 1 minion per wave from 100 health, but you get 6 times the gold for regular minions, 4 times for cannons. Executing 1 melee minion would give 126 to 180 gold, and 1 cannon would be 200 to 400 gold. The same buff would be applied to other support items. This would make it so the support is the richest person on the team, but he cannot touch minions outside of Targon's executions. Why? Because the items give negative XP and gold per minion kill, to the point that you can go into debt and be leveled down if you kill too many minions or jungle monsters. This would impede junglers and laners from taking the new super broken items. Now, how do I balance this, you guys say? Well, other support items would be on steroids, but be much more expensive. The average support item would be 5,000 gold and 80% gold efficient, but with extremely strong actives. For example, Redemption would cost 5,600 gold and give 100 AP, 20% CDR, and 3 stacks of healing with a 40-second cooldown, so it can be used 3 times a fight. Shirelia's would be 99% movement speed for 4 seconds. Into an AoE the size of a lane, it would give 10% movement speed and 120 AP, but it would cost 7,000 gold. This would make the support items unaffordable to laners in the rare ultra late game in League is kind of hilarious. Also, in order to not have 2 supports, there would be a similar buff to jungle and special new jungle items that would allow pretty much any champion to be a jungler. What do you think of this meta shift, Victor?
So before we jump on the fact that completely doesn't make sense because everyone would just buy an item and
not last hit.
And just not last hit and only hit one last hit one. But let's just not like. What do you think about like support items being like these, almost like no one else can buy them, but they're super strong? What do you think about that, Nick? Like if there's a way that somehow Mr. Riot, Mr. Tryndamere comes into your like house, sees that you're playing support, and goes, yeah, here's the items you can buy, and they're super strong. What do you think about that idea?
I don't like it.
I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either.
And I think the way that you do that is that you just add another quest to the gold generation items that says, once you've completed this quest, there's a pool of items you can buy now.
Yeah, honestly,
like,
that's probably the best
I think
way.
that's the way you have to do it, right? Is that, like, once you get through your quest, you can now, you know, purchase this item. I actually do really love the idea of, like, an 8,000 gold item for the ultra late game, though. I think that'd be hilarious. Like, there's just, like, Rabadon's Death Cap, and then there's, like, Mega Rabadon's Death Cap, and it just costs, it's, like, the same recipe, but the combined cost is 4,000 gold, and it's just, like, an extra 200 AP. Like, I think that'd be hilarious. As for this, I mean, I think that, yeah, like, the way that you're pitching it, I don't think that works in execution, because, like, again, I think there'd be definitely people that would be like, oh yeah, I'll just, only last hit one a wave, and there'll be a strategy of like, okay, fine, then I'm gonna just pick a mid laner that can push you into the tower, and while you only hit one minion a wave, I'm just gonna have your tower at 10 minutes. Like, I think that there's a clear counteraction there, but I think...
I disagree. I think you pick a champion that has lots of good AoE, and then just turn it off when you last hit. Like Karthus? Why not just keep your E on the whole time, and when they get low, you turn it off?
I guess that's fair, yeah.
I still think Colton has a point that, like, there would be counters to it. It just, like, your solution doesn't, I guess, like, negate what you tried to negate, I guess, completely.
Yeah, so I think the current state of, like, the quest lines for support items are pretty good. Mm-hmm. And I think I would definitely be on board for having certain items only purchasable by supports, or even, like, if combined costs were lowered for supports. Right, like, if you're like, hey, Locket recipe is reduced for 300 gold if you have a completed quest. Something like that, to let supports get to their items a little bit faster, and maybe even if it made them a little bit stronger. But again, that's going to add a lot of, like, fringe cases, so I don't really want the items getting stronger. I'd rather see that they're less expensive, or if you just added a couple that are exclusive to support characters.
I don't know, I feel like this just makes games even more snowbally. The first team to complete that item groups up, team fights, wins another team fight, and then it's pretty much
just like what happens when you get Herald.
I mean, I don't understand if we're making items that are this impactful, as he's suggesting. Why wouldn't the first team with this win?
And that's again why I'm leaning more towards a, hey, you finish your support item, you finish your quest line, and then you either get access to items that, again, are not stupidly stronger, but are support items. Like let's say, like, Redemption and Locket are only purchasable by supports now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just a little bit cheaper, maybe. Right? I don't think that drastically changes the balance of the game. I think it just makes supports feel a little bit better and a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't feel like support feels that bad right now, though.
I agree. I don't think it feels that bad. But...
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's the best spot it's ever been.
Maybe I'm just
still boring compared to the other
like...
roles other than AD carry, I'd argue.
But I don't think that's necessarily true. I think, like, playing champions like Alistar makes it fun.
I would argue that mid and jungle are still the most impactful, interactive roles in the game by, like, a fair bit.
Sure, but I don't think anything you do to bot lane, at least, is going to change that. I think that's just the nature of those roles.
I don't mind the idea of, like, supports having super impactful items, I guess. I think that's, like, a cool way to make them more important, I guess.
Yeah, I also think maybe you could, like, purchase enchantments on items, right? Like, you could build you build Locket, right? And as a support, again, you get access to, like, a 500 gold upgrade that after the shield expires, like, any leftover shield turns into a heal, or, like, it turns into a damage, or, right? Like, you could... There's a lot of things you could do, I think, bound behind you have to complete your quest first to make support feel better. So I guess that's at least my contribution to this.
All right. Anything else?
Fuck, yes. I should have wrote it down, but yesterday I was playing a game, and then I was like, damn, X thing, which I can't remember, was probably the prediction I've gotten the most wrong ever, and then I was gonna, like, have a discussion about, like, what our prediction, but I'll remember it next week. But there's a prediction where I was like, man, I got that completely fucking wrong. Like, it was as wrong as, like, your, like, Herald prediction, but I don't remember what it was now. So, yikes.
Okay.
Next week, maybe.
I guess that concludes the show. Thanks for listening. You can check out our website, leakcastpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Leakcast, at LeakcastFrost. Facebook is Leakcast. TeamSpeak is where we hang out most of the time, ts.leakcastpodcast.com. Or you can hang out in our Discord, where we have, like, more text-based conversations. and that's on our website, or you can ask one of us for it. Twitch.tv/bluebasket and /kinglardout is where we stream, and patreon.com/leaguecast is where you can check out our patron shows and support us even more than just listening. But thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.